Hey everyone, the nerfs have been out for a little bit and a lot of new experimentation is going on. Some decks are coming back, some new decks are showing up, some decks that were bad before are now great. So the meta is changing a lot. Some of the old villains are still there, but there's new villains, there's new heroes. So I'm going to go over just 5 kind of decks that were not relevant before the nerfs that are kind of I'm seeing play on ladder and they're doing well for a lot of people. So first we're going to go with the one that's probably the most bait, but it beat me on ladder. It took me by surprise. It is Aggro Demon Hunter. It runs all spells and it runs 2 minions, these troll centurions, which have rush, honorable kill, deal 8 damage to the enemy hero. So what happens is if they're both in your deck and you go Proving Grounds, it's basically a 16 damage Pyroblast. So all the deck really needs to do is get you down to 14 life, then go Proving Grounds. You might say, but Mr. No Hands, don't I just lose if I draw a Troll Centurion? No, because you just go dispose of the evidence. So you just hold in your hand, you hold on to this, and you put it back in your deck. So at the end of the day, I think this deck has about a 48% win rate, what I've seen, which is not good, but it's not terrible. And it's, players are playing it at top 100 legend. So it's something you could try out if you want to spice things up a little bit, have a little flavor in your life. Next, we've got Silverhand Paladin. This is a deck that is the best performing deck in the game at bronze. But if you want to get to diamond, this deck is great. It has an absurd win rate. It has the highest win rate in the game. Let me see at bronze. At bronze through gold, it has the highest win rate. At bronze, it has the highest win rate at 58.34%. You can see at the bronze through gold level, we've got Silverhand Imp, big spell. You can see this stuff. It is the best performer, and part of the reason is these decks are often simple to play. You just sort of develop tempo. You just keep playing stuff. You can use your Dunbar Bridge to get more. You can use these Warhorse, but if you just keep playing stuff, a lot of players don't know how to handle that. You can use the Order of the Court to draw your Light Rays and your Curiel, much like other stuff, and it is a pure list as well, so you can get the counters down similar to other pure paladin lists we've played before. It looks like at the higher ranks the other version is superior, but at the low ranks this list absolutely dominates. So like I said, if you're trying to get diamond, this is a great deck to play, so go ahead and try this out. Next, we've got Shockspitter Hunter, the deck that does not die, with 4 mana Shockspitters. It just keeps coming back. I think the Beast Hunter nerfs hurt Beast Hunter a lot, and the reality is the meta is incentivizing Hunter. I think at the high ranks, there's a lot of Rogue, and this deck beats Rogue because, one, it puts pressure right on one with sort of the Trogs, which can have high rolls, can be really annoying for the Rogues and the Baddie Guests and the Spirit Poachers, but then it has just all this really heavy burn finishers of the Shockspitter, even if it's slow. So often the Rogue kind of wins board with their combo turn, but now maybe they're at 15 life and maybe they got 20 attack on board. They can't kill you. You go Shockspitter 1, Shockspitter 2. So I've seen Ron Mexico playing this deck a lot at top 50 legend. It's making a comeback, and the stats are good. I believe it has a 52% win rate at legend. So it's a deck that if you liked it before, it keeps coming back. Sorry, maybe you craft Shockspitter and it gets nerfed to 5 mana. Who knows? But the deck is solid. So it still has the Hydralodon high roll potential. You can either go Harpoon Gun into Hydralodon, or you can use the Stormpike Battle Ram to get your Hydralodon discounted to 5. If you get this discounted to 2, you can do with the Stormpike as well. You can go Brand double Shockspitter for ridiculous damage. So if your opponent doesn't know how to put pressure on you, they're going to lose because you're going to get your Shockspitters and you're going to do ridiculous damage. So if your opponent, you've got that inevitability. But with the 4 mana Shockspitters, it's a little bit more annoying, harder to make a giant pop off. So deck that kind of just was dead and now it is back again. So next we've got Jombray's Deathrattle Rogue. John Bray got in a rank 2 legend with this list. I've seen the stats on it. I've seen different versions. It's a good deck. As a matter of fact, it might be a great deck, but nobody's playing it. This is probably the biggest sleeper in the meta right now. It's crushed me multiple times. It's a good deck. Players know how to, play a Scourge Illusionist, and then you don't kill it off, and they go Snowfall Graveyard, and all of a sudden, or Mass Reveler, and all of a sudden they have two Neptons on the board, and you're just dead. So deck's really good. One thing to note, I know Chopper says always keep prepping the mulligan for your pop-off turns, and timing your Snowfall Graveyards is one of the tricky parts of the deck. So generally, he says it's not usually right to play it on 3. It's more of a turn at 5 play. So that's the one tip I get you from his video if you're looking to play the deck. But the deck is good, and the deck is kind of that obnoxious Deathrattle style, which players have a lot of fun with, myself included. So, and finally, I just got the deck that I've been playing on stream all week. It is Undead Priest. This is the Najak Astrolore version. If you don't run those, I recommend, if you don't have that, I recommend putting the Rotting Necromancers in the deck. You could also put Bone Callers, though Bone Callers some have anti-synergy with Mind Eater. A lot of lists that run Bone Callers don't run Mind Eaters, so they can get bigger high rolls on the Bone Caller, but I like the Mind Eaters a lot. So you can either do Bone Callers or Rotting Necromancers if you don't have Najak and if you don't have Astrolore. I think these cards are definitely worth it, but if it's a rotation, I've looked at the win rates between the decks. They're not that different, so not worth it to craft those cards if you're on a budget for probably no change in win rate. If anything, some of these cards are tricky. I think Najak is really good against the Rogue matchup at the high ranks, but that's something I'm holding Najak, and I'm looking for these sort of lines that I know the matchups really well. For 99% of players, you don't need them. So great deck to play. I'm having a lot of success with it. People are coming to the stream saying they're having success with this. They got Legend for the first time, or they got Legend this month thanks to this deck. So play this deck if you want to get Legend. It's great. So those are my sort of new hip-hopping decks. You can see they all have sort of different advantages at different ranks. Aggro Demon Hunter is the most memey, but players are playing it. Silverhand, really, really good deck if you're a beginner player. If you're more intermediate advanced, probably not the best, but absurdly good deck to play at the beginner level. And you've got the Shockspitter Hunter, the Deathrattle Rogue, and the Undead Priest. So all really good decks to play if you don't know what to do. So go ahead, try these decks out. I hope to see you guys on the ladder.